Verse 14 very prominently points to my question. And the verse says, on the eternal and infinite screen of Sat-Chit-Ananda-Self-Siva, by his own power, Shakti is projected as the moving shadow picture of the universe in manifestation, and into that again it is absorbed in dissolution. The question therefore is, what is the need for the self to project on its screen the moving shadow picture of the universe which we see around us, including ourselves as the body and the mind? Why is there a need for truth or God to split itself into this duality of the existence? Answers from some scriptures say that it is just a play or leela, but these answers do not satisfy me, and they just stop my questions. However, the inner turmoil to know continues and doesn't really end. Acharya ji, please help me understand this. Thank you, Pradeep. The scriptures have told Pradeep that the Nirakar became Sakar, that the Nirgun became Sagun, that Advait manifested as Dvait just in its own reasonless playfulness. There was no cause. It had no need really. His question really is, why did God create the universe? Why did everything spring up from nothing? Why did Advait turn into this multiplicity of dualities? And when the scriptures tell him that there is no reason, it just is. It is called Leela of the infinite. It does not satisfy Pradeep. Pradeep says, no. That is not a satisfactory answer. I want a deeper answer. It is great that you are not satisfied, because all the answers that the scriptures are giving are incorrect and misleading. I will today give you the right answer. I will today tell you why God created the universe. God created the universe so that he can torment Pradeep ji. Unless the universe is created, how will Pradeep become dissatisfied and ask such deep questions? If there is no universe, where will this question come from? The sole purpose of the universe, I tell you, Pradeep ji, is to come to a point where you can ultimately ask, what the hell is this? Simple, innocent and direct truth does not satisfy you. What are you looking for? Some conspiracy theory? Yes, there is conspiracy. God had a wife, and the wife kicked him out of his house. Now, if there is non-duality, then there is only one house. And what has the wife done? The wife has kicked God out of the house. So, God needs a place to go to. So, he created the universe. He created the universe so that he may live in the universe. And the ancients say that because God had been pushed out of his house, he used to live on the earth in the old golden days. I in fact saw him rolling on the beach here. I too am quite old, you know. But then, in one of the Advait games, Pradeep ji came. And Pradeep ji started asking God all his great questions. And that was when God left earth and went back to his wife. He said, the wife tortures me, but that torture is preferable to the torture of such great questions. And since then the earth is godless. Now you know why the earth is so evil. Because you went to God. and totally confounded him with such deep questions. God does not have sufficient depth to answer such questions. And when God was here, you would queue up outside his humble hut. Somebody would say, "Give me this." God would say, "All right." Then the next one would say, "I do not want anything for myself." But don't give the previous one what he wanted. Now God is in a deep query. He is supposed to be the granter of all wishes. But what does he do when all that you wish is that the other must not get his wish? Pradeep, why not keep it simple and honest? Why did God create the universe? Is that what bugs you in your daily life? Don't you know? Don't I know? Is that what is keeping you so restless? Look at your daily routine. Look at your 24 hours. Are you frustrated by this question? Why don't you ask questions that really matter? You will not ask about your job, about your wife, about your kids, about your fears and insecurities. About those things. You know very well what you have to do. You know all the answers. And you take quick and definite decisions. You will not be inquisitive about where your reactions, daily reactions come from. You will not ask, why am I not bold enough? Why am I not strong enough? Why have I chosen weakness? Instead, you are asking such transcendental questions. If God is really merciful, why did the lion kill the deer? Why are there only two genders? Or maybe 2.5? What is the significance of 2.5? Why should not there be 8 genders? Let there be more choice. Why is gravity precisely 9.8 meter per second square? Does God know mathematics? Why does the God prefer ellipses over circles? Why is nothing really truly circular? Yes, keep asking. These questions are such great escapes, great and dishonest. Such questions have zero value. Ask something that is practical. Ask something that will really help you lead your daily life. What will you do with stories related to God? Is God a story? You already have enough stories. You better end those stories. Do not ask for more stories. But you want to live in stories. You don't want to end the existing stories. You want to add. And so many books are full of so many stories about Godhood. Stories about God, stories about the various saints, kings, priests, prophets. And how you stick to those stories, don't you? People will not talk of the Gita. They will very fondly remember stories related to Krishna. And then what is their life? Very story-like. No truth in the life then. Only stories. A Kathavachak once came to me. You know Kathavachak? Storytellers. So he was all the time talking of the Bhagavad Puran. Stories related to Krishna, Vishnu. I said, you really love Krishna? He said, yes. I said, the Puran is wonderful, but why don't you talk of the Gita? Srimad Bhagavad Gita. He said, people don't like that. As long as I entertain them with stories, spicy stories that personify the God, that invest God with human qualities, in which there are tears, meetings, separation, man-woman relationship, flowing hair, flute, song, river, dance, sensuality. A little bit of titillation as well. People are happy. It is not as if these stories really arouse devotion in them. They are just getting entertained. But then that's what they want, entertainment. If I start talking of the Gita, the pure essence, then they run away or doze off. And then to again wake them up, I have to tell them a spicy story. I have to tell them of how God ran away with the clothes of the naked women. And then people wake up. Now, yes. Now something interesting is coming our way. And they would narrate the story as if it happened right in front of them. And they would add their 2 bits, not 2 bits. 2 bits of the original would remain. Rest all would be their own confabulation. And then the goddess told her friends, tonight I am feeling very, very restless. What were you doing in her bedroom? Stories. Tell them to really narrate one shlok from the Gita and they would fail. And even if they narrate a shlok, ask them what really does it mean, and they would not know, but they would be full of stories. Come to the point. Keep the story aside. Talk of the real thing. Spirituality is not intellectual gossip. Spirituality is your flesh, your blood, your very breath. You have to pay for it with your life. And if you are not paying for it with your life, then your questions will have no quality.